Welcome to Crafts and Minis, week 14, hashtag hobby streak, where every day I do just a little bit in the hobby, and every week I give you an update of what I was able to complete. I'm really proud of this week. I got a lot done, both in terms of miniatures and terrain, and I just want to start showing it off. We're actually going to start with some of the terrain. So I did some little pieces this week. This is a little piece. I had a spare base. Yep. So I used this spare base to put this Reaper stone circle on that actually I trimmed up a little bit. I think this comes with a pack of cultists from Reaper, and it's bones material. And I wanted to do this so now it can be, some sort of summoning circle, but it also could be used as just a campfire, and then you put like a little flame piece in the middle, and now you got a campfire. So that worked out really cool. This also is a piece from Reaper Bones material, and it painted up really nice. You can see all these runes and glyphs on the top of it. This is actually a base of a mini that you can get from Reaper. And I really like that miniature. I have a bunch of them that I did some head swaps on that I'll show you in some other video. I haven't painted them up yet, but the base I really liked. And that's what's so cool too. Sometimes a scenic base that comes with a miniature, you don't necessarily want to use on that miniature if you're using it to try to be consistent with the rest of your collection, with the type of basing you do, or you're using it for a particular army. Well, don't get rid of those scenic bases. This wasn't supposed to be a standalone piece, but what it is really cool, because now it can be like this rune-covered table that the adventurers can come across, and who knows what type of fun they could get into with this type of thing. So that's really fun. So that was great. And then I just put a plastic base on the bottom just so it would be consistent with the rest of the collection. But you know what? That's not necessary on this piece. It just worked out fine. This is another one of those wells from Miniature Market's resin range that I put on an MDF base. And I don't know why I have two. Most of the time I buy way too much stuff for this hobby. And this is one of those occasions I didn't think it through. Like, if you're going to use a well on your tabletop, awesome. But how many wells do you need on your table? Like, a town probably wouldn't have more than one. So, yeah, I might end up selling this at a local convention. And actually, I just found out my favorite local convention is Recruits, which is this great thing put on by a high school that has their own game club. And the teacher there is amazing. And they've been running this convention, Recruits, in the Kansas City area for quite a while now. And they used to do it twice a year, but now they're down just to once a year. And last year I had a booth where I sold painted miniatures and different things, and it was awesome. Well, now I just found out that this spring they're having like a gamer's garage sale day where you can get a table for $5 and sell your stuff, and just all the proceeds from those $5 per table go to support the game club, and actually I think get a better website for the Recruits convention. But it's just going to be a really fun time, because I love shopping for deals, of course, so it'll be cool to see what everybody else has. But I think I'll probably get my own table as well, which should be fun. All right, back to this week. I painted up some fun stuff this week. These 3D printed miniatures that I painted up, because you can tell these were done on an FDM printer, that filament, and I didn't worry too much about being able to see the print lines and all of that, because these are like muddy golem creatures of some sort, and the details. This was scaled down from the original print size so that they could fit on 25 millimeter bases. And originally they have eyes and stuff. I just didn't care. I thought they looked kind of cool with just a gaping mouth and these big old arms. But I originally saw this design on Matakishi's Tea House website. Matakishi is a great legend in our gaming community who documents his projects so well, and I'm just really grateful for all the inspiration he provides. I first ran across him on the Let Adventure forums, which are an incredible resource and community in and of themselves that are definitely worth checking out to see some of the really best work I've ever seen done in our hobby, and some amazing projects. Well, I saw Matakishi print these out at a larger scale that fit probably on like a 2-inch base. And I've got some bigger ones too of those. but I really wanted to try to see if I could get these on 25 millimeter bases. Now, I don't have a 3D printer, but a buddy of mine does, and he printed these out for me, and I was really tickled. I thought those looked great. Right behind those, I've got two of these guys. They're on 2-inch washers, which worked out really well, and these actually were a bit of a risky find. I don't want to say risky. Like, I didn't know what I was getting when I ordered the first one of these. If you remember my cake toppers video, you see this character from Frozen Marshmallow, and this is another example of that character, except in my cake toppers video, it's huge. It fits on like a 3-inch base, and it's like 2 or 3 times the size of this model. Well, when I ordered these on eBay, I ordered that one in my cake toppers video and these, and I didn't know the scale. I didn't know the size. But these I decided, I'm still going to be able to utilize, so I painted 2 of these up that I had. I'm not going to search for any more of those. I think they're fine. They're, rock golem, wasteland golem of some sort, which is great. I like doing a lot of like environmental bad guys because I really think they can play in well with whatever you have going on your tabletop in terms of the environment. And so that's just another option. I also did an Umber Hulk this week. I love doing those Umber Hulks, but I did it in a slightly different color scheme than I have before. And I made it a little more reddish. I used this reddish brown ink from Liquitex that I thought just, gave it a whole different feel. And so there's another Umber Hulk, which is fun. I also did a couple of these guys from Reaper. Now, these are like their large air elementals, and they come in the clear bones material, but I wanted to paint them. So when I look at that clear bones material, most of the time, I just want to paint it. I just want to treat it like it's not clear. And you totally can. So this is just a reminder. If you see something that's only in a clear material and you not use it as a clear material, still you can get it, prime it up, paint it just like you would any other miniature, and it works out great. Now, obviously, I painted these up blue, so they could be, big water elementals, but why not? You could still plop this down as an air elemental on your table, or some sort of like magical pillar of flurrying force or whatever. And it's just a really cool model. I have 3 more of these I'm going to paint up this coming week that I'm really excited about. But I just wanted to show you I got a couple of those done. Now, last week I had painted up a green dragon, and I asked for suggestions in the comments of what to paint this other dragon, the same toy dragon from Skylanders up as. And actually, it was Matakishi who commented and recommended a citrus dragon, an orange dragon. And, maybe it'll be a citrus dragon, but I just kind of like the idea of an orange dragon with some red tones. And I thought this guy turned out really well. Again, he was a pre-painted Skylanders toy that I simply rebased, put on an MDF base, and then put the basing pumice down, covering the base that it came with, the integral base, because it would have been way too much trouble to try to cut it off of that. And it's mounted up there nice. It sits nice. And then I just primed over the pre-painted model. I didn't strip it. I just primed over it. And it ended up working out great. And you can see, the different tones I got on the scales, the reds and oranges and yellows, which worked out really well. And the wings came out okay. I didn't dirty up the edge of the wings as much on this guy as I've been doing on some wings that I've been painting lately. But I really liked him. So there's an orange dragon. Or it could double as a red dragon. Or, your citrus dragon. So it's a good time. Another thing I painted this week was really fun. And he is shiny, but he's a big old water elemental, I'm going to say, right? Or it could just be some huge blobby spell effect. But what's really cool about this is, so this is the Lava Titan from the Disney movie Hercules, but it's not the action figure that was produced that you'd buy in like a toy store. It was actually a McDonald's toy. So this is one of the Happy Meal toys that when mounted up on this base, so I mounted on a 3-inch base, I then did this hot glue work all the way around. So actually, his belly, his hands, his face, and this knee are the only thing not covered by hot glue on this model. The rest is all hot glue work, and it turned out really fun. Getting all these different shades of blue in there. And then I used the Tamiya clear blue mixed with a little Tamiya smoke to get the shiny effect. I just did that all over the place, washed it in that, and I just like it. I think it'll be cool on the table. I think you pop this out and next to your adventurers that are 28 millimeter scale, right? That's going to look really intimidating. And so it's just a fun piece to get done. I love painting up pieces like that because they're relatively quick, especially if you can have a single color for the most part and just do some different effects with that color. It's really fun. Now, I saved my favorites for last. Okay, first of all, this ziggurat, the terrain, I'm posting a unique video just on that. So if you want to hear more about that, check out that video. But I also was able to complete this week some little guys that I had started months ago. I had actually just done the skin and just the base coat of the skin on these little guys, which are from Reaper, and I believe they're Bobby Jackson sculpts. And I really, really like them. It comes in 4 different poses, and they are all fantastic little creatures. Now, I already have like a dozen at least of these painted up, and here's 16 more. So, you know, why do you need almost 30 of these little guys? Well, I don't know. Why don't you have 30 of those little guys? I love them because they can serve as goblins. They can serve as some other little creature in your game. But sometimes it's just really cool to have a horde of small creatures that the party gets to encounter. Now, I painted up more with the hopes that the party is going to encounter like almost all 30 of them because the party was not kind to the first group of these that they met. And I was actually hoping that they could have some cool interaction and stuff, but instead they got to the stabbing, which, you know, was unfortunate. But then there's this guy. And this is a model from the board game Myth. And I got this with one of the Kickstarters. And I love it. It's this huge rat with this little dude on top. Now, here's what's so fun to me. I painted these almost, like very similar colors, not exact, but very similar. And, you know, even though they don't have the exact same shaped head and all of that, it's close enough. So what's so fun is that I'm treating this guy kind of like a missing link. So in my mind, he's like, you know, one of these boss guys for this group of little baddies. Or, you know, he's just a regular little baddie, but is riding this giant rat. Now, these are kind of cool. These type of miniatures that unite 2 different types of creatures, you know, you get in your collection, and at first maybe it's like, I don't know if I'd ever use that, but then it just clicks. It's like, well, I can put these guys with this guy, and now this big guy becomes like the missing link. It now unites my collection of giant rats and rat ogres, which I got more of those to paint up, with this little group. And so now I can develop the story around why these little guys are working with the giant rats, and all of a sudden this miniature that, you know, wouldn't necessarily fit in many normal encounters very easily, or you'd have to do some extra work, works out incredible united to those little goblin, little mite type guys. And I think they're gremlins, maybe from Reaper. Either gremlins or mites. So you can check it out. But this week I was really pleased with the production that I was able to get done. It feels so good, as you know, if you've had pieces sitting on your table for months or even years, half finished, to just finish them up. And that's what those little gremlin guys were for me. They were just sitting there, stuck to the glue stick, you know, ready for me to complete with some batch painting, and I just never had the motivation. But once I painted up the guy riding the giant rat, boom, more motivation. So I was really pleased with week 14 of doing that hashtag hobby streak. And I hope you got a little inspiration from this video and that this whole hobby streak is an encouragement to you just to show what can be done if we do just a little bit in the hobby each day. But more than just being a little bit of encouragement, I just want to say thank you. For me, this is an expression of gratitude for all the great work that I see out there, all the other YouTube channels that motivate me, all the folks that are connected online in any way in our hobby has been amazing. And my tracking of this hashtag hobby streak is just a way to say thanks. So I appreciate all the likes and comments and subscribes and all that good stuff. And this week, I just want to encourage you again, go get after your hobby.